In the heart of our community, a silent struggle rages on, a struggle that mirrors the pain and the passion of a people. It's a tale not just of an individual, but of a collective soul, a shared history that weaves through every street, every home, every heart. But today, we're not here to dwell on the familiar. We're here to shine a light on a shadow that's been cast far too long. It's a harsh truth, one that's whispered in hushed tones and shouted in the streets. We are at war with ourselves. It's a battle that rages within, where brother turns against brother, and self-hate burns brighter than any external hate could. Why do we see lives discarded so carelessly? Why do we witness such disregard for the sanctity of life, where the animosity towards one becomes a burden borne by all? The music of our souls is drowned out by this cacophony of chaos, where ignorance claims lives as easily as flipping a switch. You never know what burdens others carry, what pain they harbor. A simple argument escalates, a fight ensues, and suddenly futures are stolen, lives are caged. Is any dispute worth the price of your destiny? Let's be clear. This isn't about casting shadows on our community or boxing us into stereotypes. This is about awakening, about stirring the consciousness of a culture. We've become numb to a crisis that's unfolding before our very eyes, a crisis where the glorification of a degenerate culture has become the norm. It's a mindset, not a map location. Whether born to affluence or to struggle, the ghetto mentality knows no economic boundaries. It's a choice, a path that leads away from respect and refinement towards aggression and apathy. It's a culture that forgets the value of family, where the creation of life is as casual as the wind. In the streets where we grew up, words are weapons rarely wielded. Disputes don't dissolve into dialogue, they detonate into violence. And when the dust settles, what's left? A trail of tragedy, a community in cuffs, a lineage lost. This taboo topic, it's a minefield of misconceptions. Speak of it, and you're labeled a traitor, a critic of your own kin. But silence is not the answer. Yes, socioeconomic disparities play their part, but there's a toxicity that transcends circumstance, a culture that perpetuates poverty, that breeds bias. Consider the choices we glorify. The allure of the gold chain over the health check, the status symbol over the investment in the future. If trapping is the throne you seek, then what kingdom are you ruling? A realm where respect is measured in material, where promiscuity is a pedestal. We've seen the shift from the pride of the past to the pitfalls of the present, from the dignity of the day job to the delusions of the fast life. And yet, amidst this maelstrom of misguided dreams, there are beacons of hope, those who've risen, who've defied the odds, who've embraced hard work and intellect over hollow hype. But the siren song of social media fame, of influence without integrity, it's a dangerous dance. And what of our children? What future do we forge when we hand them microphones instead of morals, when their lyrics lash out with violence instead of virtue? The ghetto life mentality. It's a mirage, a trap that promises power but delivers only pain. Consider the cycle of violence, the crime rates that read like a roll call of ruin. And at the heart of this hurricane of harm stands the black male, disproportionately decimated by gun violence. It's a narrative that needs changing, a conversation that demands courage. We must confront the culture, challenge the status quo, and champion a new chapter, one where life is cherished, where dreams are built on the bedrock of respect and resilience. It's time to turn the page, to transform the tale of our community into one of triumph and togetherness. The numbers paint a harrowing picture. The leading cause of death among black men is homicide, with the most vulnerable age group being 18 to 24. Cities like Philadelphia, Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, New Orleans, and Baltimore bear the brunt, each home to large, segregated, and disadvantaged black communities. The music industry mourns the loss of icons like Tupac Shakur, Nipsey Hussle, Takeoff, and Pop Smoke, all tragically lost to gun violence at the dawn of their lives. In the streets, the hustle is real. Scams, hustling, stealing, drug dealing. It's a lucrative underworld, but it's a path that often leads to ruin. For those who strike it rich, their wealth is fleeting, squandered on jewelry, designer threads, luxury cars, and nights of excess. They're living for the moment, the concept of saving foreign to them. This is especially true for rappers, where flaunting wealth is part of the persona. They drape themselves in chains and watches worth fortunes, their bling visible from blocks away. Yet, in other cultures, there's a fear of losing it all, prompting investments in ventures that secure financial independence. Materialism runs deep in the Black community, a reflection of our society's obsession with wealth. The inspiration often comes from rap, hip-hop, and entertainment, leading to decades of extravagant displays of wealth. But what of the past? The Black community of the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s exuded elegance and sophistication, even amidst dehumanizing racism. They carried themselves with dignity, their pride evident in their polished appearance. Now, that pride seems diminished, replaced by sagging pants and provocative online images. We must ask ourselves, why let a degenerate culture define us? Disrespect is rampant, with men and women alike perpetuating abuse. The younger generation is lost, unaware of what real love and healthy relationships look like, feeding into a cycle of toxicity with little hope for the future. Women are sexualized, children imitate what they see, and a no-snitch mentality pervades, protecting criminals at the expense of community safety. The consequences are tangible. Stores like Lowe's cage their goods, local businesses suffer under the weight of theft, and communities are impacted. While some may steal out of necessity, others do so without excuse, their actions eroding the fabric of law-abiding society. It's a stark contrast to the past, where community members, even in hardship, strive to uplift rather than undermine their own. We must reflect on this shift and consider the true cost of allowing materialism and a culture of silence to prevail. In the heart of the neighborhood, where the streets whisper tales of struggle and survival, there's a story that's all too familiar. It's a tale not of the many, but of the few whose choices cast long shadows. It's hard to ignore when both the young and the old are caught in the act of stealing, a reflection of the toxic tendrils that grip the hood. They're fed the lie that luxury is just a theft away, easy money within reach, and so they become what they're surrounded by. But there's always that one store, the wrong choice, where the owner stands firm, weapon in hand, and we all know the tragic end that follows. These stories are far too common, ending in heartbreak and loss. Yet, in neighborhoods where crime weaves through the streets like a persistent fog, the no-snitch rule is not just a rule, it's survival. Trust in the police is a luxury they can't afford. The force is stretched too thin to offer protection. To speak up, to snitch, could mean a death sentence for your family, a retaliation for daring to break the silence. And the police? In the eyes of the Black community, they're not always the protectors they're meant to be. Harassment colors their presence, especially in areas where crime is the norm. To snitch is to be ostracized, to become an outcast in your own world. You might even be turned into an informant, and with each person you lose, the stark reality of the danger you're in becomes clearer. So the best course? Stay silent, stay low. Now let's talk about Black Lives Matter. After raising a staggering $90 million in 2020, they now report $42 million in assets. Where has the money gone? What's changed? Yes, there have been strides forward, but the journey to shatter stereotypes about Black men and women is far from over. The image of Black men as absent fathers, the narrative of multiple baby mamas, it's a stereotype that's seeped into the younger generation, shaping their reality. Countless Black women raise their children solo, a testament to strength, but also a call to action for Black men to rise, to be present for their children. It's the only way to break the cycle, to rewrite the narrative that Black men are absent fathers. By being there, they can plant seeds of value and hope, nurturing a future where their children can forge a different path, a path of family, health, and harmony. As things stand, the situation seems dire. Data from the American Community Survey paints a grim picture. Black children from single-parent homes are 3.5 times more likely to continue living in poverty compared to those from two-parent families. And yet, many black mothers choose single parenthood, navigating the complexities of divorce and the constraints of traditional marriage. But at the core of it all is how we raise our children to value life itself. It's time for the black community to embrace reform, to prioritize family, education, hard work, and health. The truth is, the black community exists, but it's divided. It may be a harsh reality to face, but there's an undercurrent of animosity within, a growing problem where hate is expected from the outside, but is also found within. Imagine fighting against prejudice in the world only to return home to the same battle, a different war on familiar ground. It's a cycle of heartache, where insecurity, toxicity, comparison, and jealousy fuel a fire of division. Generational trauma and envy have left deep scars, turning potential allies into adversaries, eroding the community from within. Those who find success learn to navigate these treacherous waters, to walk away when necessary, to handle people and situations with care. Because in 2024, the sad truth remains. Some don't want to see their kin succeed. They'd rather whisper venomous words, "He thinks he's better than us," than celebrate achievements. The trait of genuine pride in others' success is rare, replaced by envy that steals joy and sows discord. To overcome this, we must see each other's souls, not the superficial markers of success. Respect is the currency that matters, not the external factors that hold no true weight. Poverty can divide, but understanding can bridge the gap. Success shouldn't breed insecurity, it should inspire. Our society might value status and possessions, but it's the intangibles, how we help, treat, and respect others, that truly matter. If we listen, share stories, and learn from our past, we can build a better future. Focus on your aspirations, and you'll stay true to yourself. Remember, your journey is unique, and every life is precious. Compete only with who you were yesterday. Anything else is a distraction. Whether it's Hondas or Toyotas, choose your path, not the one dictated by others. Let's move beyond the empty promises of capitalism and commercialism and embrace what truly enriches our lives. Embracing the ordinary is not just okay, it's a path to a fulfilling life. You don't need to chase billionaire dreams to find happiness. It's the little moments, the simple pleasures, that weave the fabric of a contented existence. We must cherish these. Yet, we live in a world where disparity breeds a toxic environment, where negativity thrives. It's a maze that often seems inescapable. As guardians of the future, our duty is to guide our children, not with distractions that celebrate vice, but with wisdom that fosters virtue. We must ask ourselves, are we nurturing our youth or letting the shadows of dishonor shape them? Resistance to change is a human trait, but when it fosters a culture that hinders our community, it's a weight we must learn to shed. The black community faces many hurdles, but what stands tallest? Is it the resistance to change, the glorification of harmful stereotypes, or something else? We all face our battles, but when does endurance become too much? When does tolerating disrespect chip away at our dignity? Unity is strength, and the journey to solidarity is long. But how long must Black Americans wait to unite and rise? Do opportunities for such unity even exist? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, thank you for watching. See you in the next video.